Hey everybody, this is TJR. Earlier in the week, Stevie Wonder released two new tracks, and he released them simultaneously. The first one is entitled Where Is Our Love Song? It features blues rock guitarist Gary Clark Jr. The second is entitled Can't Put It in the Hands of Fate, featuring the rappers Busta Rhymes, Rhapsody, and Corday & Chica. Now, if you don't count his guest appearance on Byron Miller's Real Love from earlier this year, or his 2016 collaboration tracks with Andrea Day and Ariana Grande, which were both singles, this is his first solo release since 2005. Before I give my thoughts and reactions on these two new tracks, I'm going to read a little bit from the coverage from The Guardian online. This is basically their kind of rewording of the press release here, but I think they cover this in an efficient manner. The releases mark a return for the musician to the more political works of earlier in his career, such as 1982's Frontline, about the Vietnam War, and 1980's Happy Birthday, which fueled an ultimately successful campaign to make Martin Luther King Jr.'s day of birth a U.S. national holiday. Can't Put It in the Hands of Fate, which Wonder said originally started out as a guy and girl love song, is a socially conscious funk track driven by a classic Wonder harmonica riff, which somewhat recalls the 1976 hit, I Wish. He sings of protest until change is made. That bit about I Wish, I think, is The Guardian's own input into this here. I compared the two tracks, and I really don't hear that much similarity between the two. At any rate, though, let me continue with their coverage on this here. On Where Is Our Love Song, which he first started writing aged 18, and recently returned to, he sings of desperately needed words of hope. Not the kind of hope that leaves some of us behind, but the kind of hope that lifts up all humankind. He said it stemmed from all the confusion, all the hate, the East versus West, left versus right, a heartbreak, a lot of confusion. All the proceeds from the track will go to the charity Feeding America to provide aid during the coronavirus pandemic. I'm going to start my own review with the track entitled Can't Put It in the Hands of Fate. And first, I need to address the elephant in the room. Stevie Wonder is angry in this song. He expresses his thoughts on the Black Lives Matter movement and systematic racism in the United States, and he discusses it very bluntly. In fact, I think this is the first time I have ever heard him use the F-bomb in one of his songs. So I have to start out by saying that if you are at all sensitive to the politics of this song, it's probably best that you don't listen to it, which is a shame because if you are sensitive to the politics in this song, you are probably the very person he wants to address. Okay, the elephant is out of the room. Let's talk about this song objectively. When I first heard this track, and even now, I have to admit, I feel that this song will be a harder sell to his older fans of his classic work, which is a demographic that admittedly I fall into. The song opens with just drums and percussion, and for the first 60 seconds, instead of any Stevie Wonder vocals, we have the vocals of his CoStars. In fact, there are no Stevie Wonder vocals for the first minute and 15 seconds. Also, there is this filter on his vocals. I don't believe it's auto-tuned. This filter seems to be adding a tiny bit of distortion to his voice, and it also seems to be emphasizing some of the more nasally qualities of his voice. I think that the use of this filter is a deliberate choice. I think he's trying to be more lo-fi with this particular track, as its instrumentation is very sparse. Aside from drums and percussion, I only hear bass, synth, and what is either harmonica or synthesized harmonica. There is, however, a very nice, lush vocal choir section during the bridge that definitely feels more like classic Wonder. Honestly, when I first heard this track, I was very unsure about it. I kept thinking, who is this for? But with each listen, I have to admit, I have enjoyed it more and more. And at this point, having lived with the track now for a couple days, I honestly can say that I'm enjoying this track from start to finish. For some of his older fans, I think that the rap sections at the beginning might be very off-putting, and I know that there are some who just simply won't accept it, which is a shame, because it is a really good song. I'm going to quote from Financial Times. They had the following to say about it. The confrontational edge gives a welcome sharpness to Wonder's performance. The chintzy sentimentality that entered his work in middle age is absent. The unparalleled hot streak of his younger days can never be recaptured, but this is a promising return to action by one of the greats. So now let's talk about the second track, entitled Where Is Our Love Song? Now, this track is going to be a much easier sell to the older generation, and I think it can definitely be described as classic Wonder. Guitarist Gary Clark Jr., who is normally known for a heavier sound, shows remarkable restraint on this track and instead plays much cleaner and a much more nuanced guitar, which admittedly I'm kind of on the fence about. I mean, I understand that he's trying to play to the song, and that's very professional. He's keeping it classic Wonder sounding. But if he had played in more of the overdriven, explosive guitar style that he's known for, I think it would have added an extra dimension and kick to the song as well. Either way, though, it's still a great track. And fans of his classic work, I think, are going to really enjoy it. I know I did. So give these two new tracks a listen. You can listen to them on all the legal streaming services, Spotify, Tidal, and Apple Music, and you can also stream it on YouTube as well. After you do listen to these tracks, be sure to come back here and leave a comment and let us know what you thought. I do lots of new track and new album recommendations on this channel every week, so be sure to click like, click subscribe, and smash the bell notification icon so you don't miss any of those videos. I'd like to thank my Patreon supporters who are helping me to make new videos. If you'd like to become a Patreon supporter, please go to patreon.com/TJR, the original.